Hey there, it's Lisa with FreeFaxReview.com, and today I'm reviewing FaxSer. They offer a free 30-day trial, which I like, and monthly membership fees that range from $9.95 to $39.95 a month. Just so you know, today we'll be looking at the personal and small business plans that they list right up here, although FaxSer does also offer enterprise faxing for corporations. As far as the personal and small business plans go, your membership fee gets you anywhere from 250 to 1,000 free fax pages per month, but you should know that they further subdivide that quota of free pages into one allowance for incoming faxes and another for outgoing faxes. So with the basic plan, for example, your 250 free pages are divided into just 125 free pages for faxes on their way in and 125 free pages for faxes on their way out. Now, this kind of subdivision of the free page quota is a pretty common practice among online fax providers, but I don't really like it, and here's why. It just makes it way too easy for you to go over your quota of free faxes. It's like 2 chances to pay extra fees instead of just 1. For example, if you were to receive 100 pages on the basic plan with FaxSer here, but you sent 125, the next fax you sent would bump you into overage fees, despite the fact that you would still have those 25 free pages sitting around in your receiving quota, not really doing anything. So as far as overage costs go, if you exceed any part of your FaxSer free page quota, you pay 9 cents for every additional fax page that would have been applied to that quota. You also pay a little bit extra per page if you decide to send an international fax, but that's actually pretty standard. The exact international rate you pay varies depending on the fax's final destination, and the rates usually end up being about what you would pay for making an international phone call of the same duration. You can get a discount on international faxes by purchasing a 100-page international fax package for $5 a month. Finally, you also have the option of selecting either a local or toll-free number when you sign up for FaxSer, but you should know that a toll-free number will automatically tack an extra $3 to $10 per month onto your membership fee, depending on which plan you have. So now, let's take a look at sending faxes with FaxSer. Like most online fax services, they give you the option of sending faxes or receiving them directly from your email account, or you can do it through their web interface. But unlike most online fax services, FaxSer requires you to provide your password, what they call your PIN number, every time you use the email to fax function. You put it right here in front of the target fax number with a dot separating your password from the target fax number. Another small difference is that FaxSer likes you to leave the leading 1 on the target fax number here, whereas some other fax services would have you drop it. Oh, and one last thing, you can actually address your faxes to multiple recipients at the same time, but you only have to insert your password with the very first one. So on the others, you would just put the target fax number, say here, and then @faxser.com, and separate each additional phone number that you're faxing to with a semicolon. In this case, I'm just going to send to 1. Anything you put in the subject line becomes what would normally be the attention or attention of line in the fax. And if you put anything here in the body of the email, that goes as the cover page. If you don't want to send the cover page at all, then you just put no cover page right here in the subject line. And finally, the actual body of the fax is made up of any files that you attach. So here I've just attached a simple graphic that I have laying around that I want to send to myself. And I have to put my password in now in order to send the fax, but I think that's supposed to be a secret. So let me pause the video while I do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and the fax is off. So while I'm waiting for a confirmation email, both from FaxSer and from the other service that I sent that message to, let's take a look at the FaxSer web interface. This is what you see when you log in from the front page for FaxSer. And if you've seen my other video reviews, you already know that I'm a big fan of a slick, easy-to-use interface. I really don't think there's any reason for these things to be complicated. So I do like the FaxSer interface very much. I also really like their Help Center just because it's actually useful. For example, here's where I found the information about sending a fax by email, and at the same time, it keeps things simple. It really does not have to be any more complicated than that. So now let's go ahead and send a fax online. And I'll ask you to bear with me while I fill in the fields here. It looks like I need to insert a fax number. And I'm going to send this to a different online fax service than I addressed the emailed fax to, just to keep things straight. Looks like you have the option of broadcasting your fax as well. And then you attach any files you'd like to send, and I'll just send myself the same picture of the bear paw print that I sent with the other fax. Let's see if that worked. Okay, the fax was sent, and I've already received an email confirmation from the other fax that I sent by email. That took less than a minute. It's pretty darn speedy, but I'm going to wait for all the confirmations to come in before I look at that. In the meantime, here are a couple of other things you might want to know about FaxSer. They do let you include a digitized signature with your fax, and they're fully compatible with both with Microsoft Outlook, and they also archive your faxes for free for 365 days. And that's a pretty good deal because there are also some fax services out there that will charge you a sneaky archive fee per fax that they store for longer than 30 days. All right, I'm going to put the video on hold now and wait for those other confirmations to come in, and then I'll come back and tell you what happened. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see from the timestamps, it took about 3 minutes for all of the confirmation emails to come in. This is the first one, telling me that the fax that I emailed was accepted and was being prepared for delivery. And then up here, 3 minutes later, is the confirmation from MetroFax, which is the other fax service that I just happened to choose for sending this. And then the one that I sent from the web interface is here. And it looks like this all happened pretty quickly. Here's FaxSer telling me, again, just in case I didn't see it on the web interface, that the fax was received and queued for sending. Here's FaxSer telling me that the send was successful. And then here's RapidFax, the other service that I use just for testing purposes here, confirming that the send was successful. So it looks like everything is good all around. That 3-minute send time to MetroFax does make me wonder a little bit, just because about a minute is pretty standard in most cases. But overall, that's really not too shabby. And since FaxSer does offer a free 30-day trial, you can always try them out yourself and see what you think. Other than that, if you wanted to look at other fax services, I do really like MetroFax and another service called HelloFax for their streamlined interfaces. They're a lot like the one you see with FaxSer. Nextiva's interface is pretty good too, but I had some real issues with slow transmission times when I tested them. And finally, if you wanted a really full-featured fax service that you could check out, you can try Aircom USA or Ring Central. And you'll find reviews for all of those fax services and more at freefaxreview.com.